Hey, what's up, everybody, and a pleasant good evening on this wonderful Thursday night, September 10th. We have an off day. I am Steve. Got Rodriguez right there to my left. I got Keith right down there. And I got producer Joe around the glass helping us out as always. We appreciate it. This is season 3, episode number 29. Episode number
Alex
TikTok to
Trevino.
100.
That's all I got.
29. Was that Ike Davis? 29?
Jason Phillips?
Ugh.
I don't even know.
You
I'm
brought him up
just
today.
looking at the numbers. You guys know that, but I'm lost on that
Jason Phillips. Jason Phillips. Yeah, we'll get into it. We had a discussion earlier. We'll talk about a little bit about Mo Vaughn, Jason Phillips, all these guys in a little bit. But TikTok to 100. This is episode number 95. We're almost there. Almost getting to 100.
Getting there.
And as always, let's pass it over to Keith to talk about Brooklyn Water Coffee.
This segment was brought to you by Farachi was actually right. Ike Davis's number was 29.
Boom!
And if you notice, I'm wearing
For
a
once.
mask. You'll see why in a minute. Mm-hmm. Because if you visit www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com now, or a little later too, it still works, and you order 2 bags of fine coffee, you'll find out why this mask will help you. brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com, from their roastery to your front door, bitches. Only the finest beans are are picked and roasted for the delicious flavor that brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com delivers. They have a couple different types of coffee. There's the high energy line, which consists of Cinnabuzz, which is one of my favorite coffees. It's a delicious cinnamon flavor that's roasted into the coffee. Then there's another one, which is what we like to call our friend Rodriguez, Jacked Up Cupcake. It's a delicious vanilla type of coffee. Tastes like a cupcake. It's 50% more caffeine per cup. It's cupcake. It's vanilla. That's got to be more calories, right, Farachi? How many calories are in that?
It's a ton. It's Zero!
Boom! No calories. No guilt. Get it now. Then there's also the line that is flavored, yet not 50% more caffeine per cup. There's a ton of different flavors in there, such as Morning Wood. If you're having a little trouble in the morning, order that coffee. There's also the Drunken Pig. It's a delicious bacon and maple flavored coffee. And bacon and maple has got to be a ton of calories in there too, right? Farachi, how many calories come in that?
Absolutely zero.
Boom! Check it out. Guilt-free. Unless you add all that milk and make it into a milkshake crap coffee. Drink it black, be a man or a woman. Do
Black.
Or whatever you identify with. Then there's also the Winter Wonderland. Amazing coffee. Farachi does love my Morning Wood. Winter Wonderland's amazing. I don't know the exact flavors that go into there, but you can find out. Little tease. Go to www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com and you can see all the delicious flavors that are out there. And if you don't like flavored coffee, you don't need to worry, because their medium roast coffee and non-flavored coffee are some of the most delicious whole bean or grind coffees that you can never taste. www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com. And there is one, I'm sinning because there's one flavor I didn't mention. Do you know what that is, Farachi? Dark roast, dark chocolate.
Yeah,
baby. Check it out now. And it's chocolate, so there's got to be calories in there too, right? So if you took a cup of that, how many calories are you going to get out of a cup of that, Farachi?
Zero.
Boom. Guilt-free again. Check out the
Guilt-free
website, www.brooklynwatercoffeeroasters.com, from the roaster to your front door. Guaranteed to ship within 24 hours of its roast date. But if you ask now, act. You can ask too, but if you act now.
You can.
Mask on. Use the code mask on and just order 2 bags. Take a 3rd bag and pick any flavor. You will not be disappointed. Be adventurous. And you'll get your 3rd bag free if you buy 2. BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com.
It's kind of like when you go to the restaurant, you know exactly what you're going to order, but you got to examine the menu, and they're like, I'll have my usual. So don't do that with Brooklyn Water Coffee.
Right, because there's no risk. And you know what? If you don't like it, which I can guarantee you almost, It's not a personal guarantee. I'm not giving you anything if I'm wrong, but I can almost guarantee you that you will not be disappointed. If you are, you give it to your neighbor, they won't be disappointed. And you help BrooklynWaterCoffeeRoasters.com.
Whoa. That was Joe.
Joe's up his tricks now.
Little tricky out there. Little tricky. All right. First things first. We've not had a Met show since the passing of the franchise. So just want to raise a. This is all I could find. I promise there's stuff worthy of raising to in here.
Okay, so Rodriguez and I are raising a drink. You're raising soup.
Fine. This is a coffee mug.
That's miso soup. Miso what? Morning wood.
It's boom. Perfect to sponsor us.
Are they paying? Don't put them on there.
You always got to offer the first one's free. You get the free one first. All right. All right. So we did lose the franchise, and it happened. We got the news while we did the Giants show. But just want to talk just for a few minutes about Tom Seaver. Obviously, the best pitcher we've ever had in a Mets uniform.
Not called franchise for no reason.
Exactly. And so 311 wins, 205 losses over his career. And the ERA was just like, he's just not hitting this guy. I mean, Keith Hernandez talked about this. Keith Hernandez batted below 200 against Seaver, and I'm betting there's not too many guys out there that could say otherwise. But just from the time that he came into the league, and obviously won Rookie of the Year with the Mets in '67, from '67 just to '76, right before the Mets stupidly traded him, just every year. '69, he was 25-7. Jacob deGrom can't get 25 decisions a year, let alone wins. ERA 2.21. Just the strikeouts were just amazing. Cy Young Award in '69. Cy Young again in 1973. He finished second in the Cy Young in 1971. I want to touch on that a little bit. Also won the Cy Young in 1975. He was our very first 3-time Cy Young Award winner. And just real quick on the 1971 Cy Young voting. So Ferguson Jenkins won the Cy Young that year. And I want to get to the Cy Young here real quick because you can't really, fault either way. So, Jenkins got 97 votes that year. Tom Seaver 61. Ferguson Jenkins had 30 complete games that year. Imagine saying that to a fan of baseball now. 30 complete. You mean 30 starts? No. 30 complete games. Seaver had 21. He threw 325 innings. Ferguson Jenkins, 286 for Tom Seaver. He did give up a ton more runs than Seaver, but that averages out with the ERA. 3 shutouts to Seaver's 4. Whip was about the same. Seaver was just a little bit better. 289 strikeouts for Seaver in less innings. So I couldn't be faulted for voting either way. But we heard all the stuff from Howie Rose and how when Pete Alonso hit the game-winning home run that night, he just started crying. So obviously this guy meant a lot to everybody in the franchise, and he was called the franchise for that reason.
In his career from 1967 to 73, and I can push it all the way to 77, but just that frame, because I'm going from his rookie year all the way to the last playoff appearance, I think. Yep, the last playoff appearance he had with the Mets. His 162-game average was 19-11. With 227 strikeouts per year, including his rookie year. In his rookie year, he pitched a full 235 games. The guy was Mr. Consistency, Mr. Dominance. You can probably count on his full entire 20-year career, 5 years where he had iffy years, and those iffy years are better than any 2 or 3 starters in most teams today. The guy was amazing. He wasn't called the franchise for any reason, and he was a first ballot Hall of Famer, like you mentioned. I mean, I have so much respect for him as a Met fan. And his disease is personal to me. So it's heartbreaking to see how he went, but I'm glad he did not suffer with it longer than he could have. Prayers to his family. Rest in peace, Mr. Seaver.
He was the best we've had.
Yeah.
There's another guy on the staff that's pretty good too, but this guy, he's from an era when pitchers prided themselves on not giving up runs, on having low ERAs, and just winning. I mean, think about it. The '69 Mets the Mets were supposedly crap. He comes in and wins 25? Was it 25 games? You said he won for Archie?
25 and 7, 2.2 on ERA.
They won 100 games. So without Seaver, it's 75. It's a 75 win team. Let's say they had another pitcher and the other pitcher wins 10 games. I mean, that's 15 games less. The guy was a stud. He was built to pitch. He was a bulldog. He concentrated on knowing how to pitch. He concentrated on having the leg strength to pitch, because it wasn't just arm, it was leg strength. It was the way he came in. He came in so low that when he threw a fastball, it would seem to rise to the hitters. And a rising fastball at 95 is amazing, especially if it's coming from your ankles. I mean, if it's coming from your ankles and it ends up at your knee every single time, it's almost impossible to hit at 95. And you got sliders and curveballs, and you have control. I mean, that's a guy who said, I'm throwing you a 95-mile-an-hour fastball in that corner. I'm throwing it 4 times in a row, and you're not going to hit it because I have that much control and that much power over you. That's what a pitcher – I get goosebumps talking about that type of stuff. That's what a pitcher is all about. It's not about Porcello coming in and trying to throw an 85-mile-an-hour fastball high or something. I mean, it's ridiculous. These guys made themselves into pitchers by working hard, by pitching a lot, building themselves up, building their legs, building their arms, building their repertoire, not becoming a guy who comes in and throws 100 and then 5 innings later he's gassed. Every player right now is so much stronger than everybody than the players then, supposedly, yet they can't go 7 innings, yet they can't throw complete games. They can't have 30 starts. Most of these guys fail. Why? Because they're not teaching themselves. I know, I'm going to the old guy thing again.
No, but listen.
But you're right. You're 100% right.
Hold on, Rodriguez. Listen to the stat just to back you up, and this is including his late 30s and early 40s, like when he was obviously on a decline, which is no insult to him. It's just natural way things go.
Yeah.
20-year career, he averaged 162 game season, 250 innings per year.
Well,
that's including. He retired at 41. That's including his late 30s all the way to 41.
You have to be that type of guy to become a 300-game winner. It's almost like, 15 to 20 games a year you have to win. To win those type of games, you have to make your 30 starts. You have to be on the mound. You have to be in the game. You can't be sitting at home, playing video games. It just doesn't work. No. So when you talk about guys like Tom Seaver, there's a phrase, dying breed. Yeah, it's a dying breed, man. He's one of the few guys. He's gone. The last guy I remember that threw a ton of innings like that was Gooden in that era, in the 85, 84, 85. He threw like 270 innings. So I think he might have even thrown 300 innings one year.
Nolan Ryan, another one. Ton of respect.
He comes from the Mets. And another guy that just worked himself into being the best by building your legs, not relying only on your arms. I wish some pitching coaches would probably try to teach their guys that. I don't think they do. But sad to say, we've lost a franchise, the greatest Met ever. A hell of a nice guy from everything that I've seen and heard of him. Great sense of humor. Very approachable to some of the other guys. They loved him. If Howie Rose is almost crying.
He was crying. He was
it's a home run. He swatted away the I guess the director telling him to say something. He
couldn't do it.
It's emotional. That's a guy. So, condolences to his family. Thank you for letting us have Tom Seaver as long as you did. I wish he would have been capable to come around and see his statue, which he never got to see, which came way too late, Mr. Will Pons. That's one of the reasons I want you out, you douche. You didn't respect him. And that's all I got to say.
And if I could just go back to stats real quick, because taking away the emotion, let's just look at pure stats. 10 years from his rookie career till he went to Cincinnati, the most tragic year, 77. Why'd we trade him? I don't know. But anyway, 10 years with the Mets. Stupid. I'm going to give you his 162 game average. Okay. 18 and 11. This is an average of 10 freaking years. 18 and 11. He averaged 35 starts. 34 starts, 35 games, excuse me, which means he relieved, probably postseason crunch time. He had an average in that 162 games, 264 innings pitched, only allowing 209 hits, 80 runs, 73 of them were earned, 19 home runs a year, which I guess is high, but not really.
Not in the amount of innings that he used to throw.
Not in the amount of, right, because good point. 227 strikeouts.
Just a hit. That's just another hit.
And you know what I liked? He only averaged 5 hit by pitch per year, which means he didn't need to threaten anybody because his stuff was so nasty. He just didn't need to. Those hit by pitches were probably things that got away from him or somebody who pissed him off.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
they were on purpose. Almost guaranteed. At least 4 of them were.
And his it doesn't have a whip. I guess they didn't really take track of that back then, or maybe I'm just not seeing it. But I do.
Whip nonsense.
His
1.061 over those 10 years. And this is including his rookie year, which was stellar. His rookie year would be a year that any pitcher in their life would hope to pitch in any year of their career. He had a 2.76 ERA and he was 16-13. The guy was amazing.
And to that point, with his rookie year, 1967, the Mets won 61 games. 61 games total, the Mets won, and he won 16 of them.
Yep. And he only averaged 0.6 home runs per 9 innings through those 10 years with the Mets. Wow. Noah, you listening, Noah?
Dumb, man. I mean,
Diaz, you listening? Anyway.
The strikeouts, 283, 289, 251, 243. The strikeout totals were just there was also these other times where he finished 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. He finished top 10 in MVP voting.
Yep.
In 1969, he was an All-Star, the Cy Young Award winner, and finished second in the league in MVP voting. That's incredible.
He's definitely, without a doubt, to me, top 5 pitchers of all time. I say 5. Sure. There's other.
That's pitchers. A lot of pitchers.
Nolan Ryan, Cy Young. There's a lot of pitchers, but let me put it this way instead, just so somebody doesn't argue with me, because somebody will definitely argue with me. He is definitely, arguably, top 5 of all time.
There you go.
You can't say he's not a part of that discussion. You pick top 5, he's definitely part of the discussion every single time. Rest in peace, Tom Seaver. Thanks for everything you did for the Mets franchise, and I hope your family, is doing okay, man. Yeah.
Yeah, just a bad trade, obviously, in '77, and then they got him back, and they left him exposed in the draft, and then he went to the White Sox and won his 300th game there. Some very Mets things to do.
There's a lot of mistakes, bad mistakes the Mets franchise has made, and I'm hoping, go forward, we start cleaning that up. We've been doing a little better. And Will Pons, everybody hates the Will Pons, but Will Pons, a little credit. Over the last few years, they have been doing a little better on making sure they don't miss those type of opportunities. I will give them that credit, but
yeah,
sometimes
they still should have pulled the trigger on the statue. Let's head over. Producer Joe has a quick video queued up, ready to roll. So let's take a watch here on this video. No sound. But you can see the emotion.
Yeah, this is where he starts tearing up. You see his eyes swelling too. I mean, he was since there's no sound, I'll just kind of give a quick comment. He was commenting through the whole game his experiences with the franchise and how welcoming he was and how great he was to him and his family and stuff. Going out to his winery. You can see this kind of building up. Look at Wayne Randazzo, completely unaware.
He's got to take over.
He did, yeah, but he did a good job. The call was good.
Yeah, and you mentioned the wine stuff. He moved out back home into California, and how Rodriguez. I think you mentioned a sense of humor. I one of the stories that I saw and read about was with David Wright, and so Tom Seaver was at Mets camp, and he couldn't think of somebody's name. So
his eyes immediately bagged up. Look at that.
Yeah, for sure.
That's honorable. That's an honorable cry right there. That's emotion. Let's watch the 400-pound giant. No, go ahead.
So he couldn't think of somebody's name in the clubhouse, and he called David Wright over, and he said, "I don't know, what's that guy's name?" He was like, and so he ribbed back at him. He said, "Shame on you for being in this clubhouse and not knowing everybody's name." And say from that moment forward, he called him the Hall of Fame guy. So they ribbed each other back and forth. So it's I listened to an interview today with Keith Hernandez, and after Seaver retired, he did not watch any baseball for years. He just wanted to separate himself, and I think Keith Hernandez said the same about him. And you know how Keith goes. He starts talking about how that's why I said that he batted less than 200 against him, and he said he even saw him, as great a pitcher as he was. I guess the last time that he faced him, he didn't have any of his stuff, and he almost threw a no-hitter because that's how smart of a pitcher Tom Seaver was. And that kind of goes into DeGrom. DeGrom can be struggling on the mound. Rodriguez, you've said it before. It could be the fourth or fifth inning. He's given up a hit, 4 strikeouts and whatnot, and Rodriguez will text us sometimes saying he doesn't even have his stuff tonight. And DeGrom has said in the past, I didn't have my good stuff today, but yet the guy's going 6-7 innings and putting us in a position to win the game.
That's what a starter's supposed to do. He's supposed to keep your team in the game. If they score 4, you let them score 3. I mean, the best,
and that's all he does.
That's it. That's all you do. That's the best you can do. Keep your team in the game, and a lot of pitchers don't do that. They just fall apart, and then the offense has to pick up and score another 10 runs. Guys like Tom Seaver, man, there's very few, and there's going to be very few in the future. The way baseball is going, you're looking at one of the best right now. That's a little bit old school, which would be like DeGrom. He'll do his 9 innings. If they let him, he will not come out. They have to they have to take him out. So that's the guy that. So I mean, we've had great pitchers, and we have a great pitcher right now, but none better than Tom Seaver.
And Tom, and by the way, nobody. I can go out on a limb here and say nobody's ever going to win 300 games again. There's going to be a new standard for a Hall of Fame, set, and I know we don't like to hear it, but it is the way that it's going to go, and you can't just stop putting pitchers in the Hall of Fame because they don't win 300 games. But
well, you know how they get into all analytics, Moneyball, right? Kind of how they give credit to where it started in Moneyball, Billy Bean. They should take those kind of analytics and that kind of study and examine why pitchers of the Nolan Ryan, Tom Seaver era versus the pitchers of this era have such an injury ratio and inability to pitch as many innings. Inability being to the end yesterday. But they don't pitch them. there's something, whether it's their routine,
There-
their workout routine, their exercise routine, or they're not pitching them like you said, whatever it is, they should take that same kind of study that they do inside of the analytics, like the Billy Bean analytics, and they should study that because truthfully, it'll be beneficial to the game, beneficial to the pitchers themselves, and beneficial to the teams because they'll have somebody who they can throw out there for 8 innings. Oh, you gave up 4 runs? Go get them, kid. You know,
They don't have to.
Oh,
They don't
it's a
have to
6
pitch
inning,
those innings.
90 pitches. We got to pull them out. That's nonsense.
Well, here's
Pitch your
my
game, bro.
but here's my thought on it is that the game just there's so
There's the wrong
much
thought, people.
there's so much money invested these days that they're just not risking it. They're it could be the pitch. Oh, but guys like Jacob deGrom, we know he would pitch 9 innings a game if he could. But there are the sport is more about money nowadays.
I'm about to interrupt anyway. Just so you're saying that if we were to just throw people out there anyway, we would sort out the weak from the strong.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
the strong. Okay, so there you go. The strong survive. The weak out of here. I don't want somebody that's going to pitch 5 perfect innings every time. I want somebody who can get out there. And
you do. You would give your left
right now. I would because of how the game was built. But what changed? What strayed us away from that? Because there were so many strong pitchers. I'm just mentioning Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver.
Oh yeah,
but you can go back. Look at the Negro brothers. They were like 45, and they were still pitching 90 games.
Yeah,
90
games. They were not pitching like Tom Seaver.
They were knuckleballers. Yeah, they were knuckleballers.
There's a difference. There's a difference when you're built to pitch and when you're built to just throw a knuckleball.
My point is there was a lot more high inning pitchers back then. Even go look at your 80 cards.
Keith. To your point is, what I'm thinking is the way these things started happening like this is because you have a superstar that you're paying a lot of money to. He gets hurt. Some schmuck says, "Oh, he pitched too many innings. Oh, he's throwing too many. He should only do 6. He should only do 7." Boom. Then it's copy.
Bingo.
So everybody gets trained like that. The pitchers. When a pitcher wins in the old days, winning the game was the most important thing. So the pitcher busted his balls to go out and pitch those innings and win that game and get that W because that W meant money for him. Now the W doesn't mean as much money. I mean, it's right there in front of us is the DeGrom thing. If he throws and he has a great whip and he has a 1.78 ERA, but he only gets 3 wins out of the last 10 games. He's still going to get paid. It's not on him. It's on the team. And really, a win is a team win. It's really the pitcher can only do but so much.
Right.
Do you take away? Do you give him a win if the team makes errors on a crucial play? Do you give him a win?
Yeah, because you can give up 5 unearned runs.
Yeah, what do you do with unearned runs, right? How do you penalize that? You penalize the pitcher, you penalize the team, you penalize the batters. There's a lot of things that go into it. So I get there's a lot of things that have to be discussed and really resolved for it to become something like Keith would want, a 9-inning pitcher all the time, which is what I want. Trust me.
Great.
I want a guy that can do it. Doesn't have to do it, but can. So it's a different game, man. And that 300 game win thing, like you said, Ferrati, it should go away now because the game has changed.
Yeah.
It always should have been based on ERA. If I'm a pitcher, my job is to control the other team from scoring. It's always should have been the ERA. The best pitcher in the league is the guy with the lowest ERA. End the story.
And that's it.
So essentially, what we're all saying is, I'm not saying I don't agree. I kind of do, but money changed. Money is what changed that factor, the longevity. Yeah, it's true.
Changes everything.
That's my thought.
All your points, I agree with 100%. It's just sad. I like, I guess I'm old school. I like that grind it out. I like that guy who gets out there and just pitches. I like that guy that gave up 4 runs and still comes out in the 7th inning because you know what? You may have knocked me around that last inning, but I'm going to strike you out this inning. We don't have that this day, but it's the evolution of the game. Yeah. It's the direction we're in, and here we are. It's the good old days.
One more point for me is that, but everyone has to realize when that does happen, when you have that pitcher who wants to pitch those innings, who wants to give you their heart and try their best,
I.e. Matt Harvey in her career.
when he fails, you can't destroy him, but they do anyway.
But
So,
if it was the norm, then we wouldn't kill him because it would be the norm to go the 9 innings. Or he talked his way into it. With the Harvey thing is
that's what you want.
Our situation.
That's what you want.
Not if you don't have it. Don't lie to us.
Then it's the manager's problem to take care of.
Yes, yo, 100%.
Says the money is the root of all evil.
Yep. And so, all right, last thing I want to say about Tom Seaver is, and I know none of us want to hear it, talk about it, whatever. 1981 with the Reds, he went 14-2, 2.54 ERA. He was second in the Cy Young voting, and again, top 10 MVP voting. 14-2 for the Cincinnati Reds, which just it's unnatural. Talked about the movie The Natural earlier.
It was the season, right?
But at least who did he pitch a no-hitter for? I forgot.
Was it the White Sox, wasn't it?
Not the Mets.
Of course not the Mets.
Not the Mets.
Not the Mets.
Who did he throw a no-hitter with? Was it the White Sox? I thought it was the Reds.
I don't know, honestly. I just know it's not the Mets. Hold on. I'm going to look that up right now.
No, it was the Reds. Dan Driesen caught the ball on first base, and he rushed at him. And stupid
Tom Seaver, yeah, with the Reds.
What year was it?
I'm looking that up right now. Hold on one sec. Box score, no hitter. I got the box score. Hold on. He was playing the Cardinals. 1978 against the Cards.
Yep.
Yeah, right after he left. It's fantastic.
And and how many? Didn't he take 3 no hitters in the 9th inning with us?
Perfect game.
Wow! Look at this lineup.
Jimmy Kralls.
Look at this lineup for that he no hit. Lou Brock, Gary Templeton, George Hendrick.
Well,
Ted
rest in
Simmons,
peace, Lou Brock.
Keith Hernandez, Jerry Morales. Wow, this is a pretty decent lineup, dude.
They had good players. Morales,
and that was
right?
Yeah, a little trip down memory lane. I mean, I know this is a it's actually fitting.
What year did Hernandez split the 1979?
I think it was 70. Was it 79? The Skanks one?
79. It was
with Stargell, right?
With Stargell, the year the Pirates and their We Are Family crap.
With those ugly, disgusting jerseys with the stripes around.
Let me give you a quick little story. When I did the Mets camp, I met what's the guy, the second baseman that he got traded for? Tom Boulay just said it. Doug Flynn. I met Doug Flynn. I spoke to Doug Flynn, and all he did during the whole stay there was bash himself on the Tom Seaver trade. He goes, "I know you guys hate me. I know you guys don't want me around. You know, I mean, it was hilarious. He's the nicest man, you know. And he was an average second baseman, but he really understands.
Poor guy.
He understands the Mets. He understands how much we love our Tom Seaver. So, you know, he gets it. He gets it. So if anybody ever meets him, don't be mean to him. He's a great guy.
If only the Mets management loved Tom Seaver as much as the Mets fans, things may have been a little different.
Well, he was a player rep, and he was against Matt, and he's the guy that would fight management on a lot of stuff, and he was outspoken. And we
had shitty management in the 70s. So there you go.
And you had a guy that said, I'm not going to let a pitcher do. It's not like today where pitchers can say anything they want to do, anything they want. A player has a lot more power today than they did then. Even a Tom Seaver.
Where's Tom from? Is he a Texas boy or a California boy?
Cali.
Seaver is Cali.
Oh, okay.
He went to University of Southern California.
I know Nolan Ryan's that badass Texas boy, but yeah, Seaver's that California boy. Open-minded, loudmouth, and he'll perform and show you how it's done. Love it.
Yeah, so you think if you met Jim Fregosi, he'd say the same? I know you Mets fans hate me in the Nolan Ryan deal. Jim Fregosi. Jeez. We made some bad trades in our life. All right. Final little cheers to Tom, the franchise, and we'll move on here. All right. So, since the last time we were on the air as a show, we did the crossover show with the Yankees guys over there at the Empire 161 show, which
Lots
we
of fun.
appreciate. Had a lot of fun. And of course, if you guys are enjoying what you're watching right now, please give us a share out to all you other Mets
And the like.
Metsies out
And
there.
tell your friends to like us.
Tell you only if they're Mets fans.
No, they could be.
Those are the only
we'll
fans
boot
that
them
you can have.
eventually.
All right. So we've gone 5-4 since our last show, and that was the Orioles for 4 games, which really, I mean, they are overperforming based on their the team that they have. I thought Kyle was crazy to have them in the playoffs. I think they're about to jump over the Yankees if the Yankees lose a couple of games this weekend and the Orioles win.
My AL East prediction's holding up pretty well.
Who did you have, the Rays?
The Rays.
Yeah. All right, and then we had the Yankees game that was the makeup game. Big win there. And then we had the Phillies 4-game set that we split that we should have taken 3 out of 4. All right. And then the Orioles we got kind of destroyed the first game, and then the comeback yesterday. Day off today, and then we've got 16 games left. We have the Buffalo Blue Jays coming up, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But 5-4, 16 games left now. So we have 25 games left at the time, and we go 5-4 when you really need to start making up ground here. What's you guys' thoughts on the play over the last nine games?
Want to take that, Rodriguez? You want me to go?
Yeah, you're right there. You're right next to him. Talk.
So I got to be honest. I've been. If this was a 162 game season, I'd be very hopeful and happy. But it's a 60 game season with what? How many do we have now? 16 to go. 15 to go. I'm a little worried. I'm worried. They've been playing well from an offensive standpoint, and defense has been pleasantly surprising across the board in every position except when Ramos is catching. They've been real. No, well, I'm being honest, right?
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's been pleasantly surprising. The defense from that play Conforto made to that play Guillermo made to the consistent plays Jimenez is making. I mean, it's been really good, our defense. Pitching,
catch of the night.
Well, Conforto,
catch of the season.
My biggest issue of the last 5 games, and it's a pretty consistent theme going, is pitching. Our pitching has been spotty, and a lot of it has to do with, as Joe has mentioned in our chat before, Stroman opting out. Lugo out of the bullpen. Surprisingly, I prefer Lugo to be continuing starting. We'll get into that later, but
out of need.
That's out of need, right? Lugo in the bullpen and Stroman starting is our best thing. Stroman opting out, Thor getting hurt. We've been in a position right now in terms of pitching that we are very vulnerable. Our strongest thing right now, obviously, is DeGrom, which he's the strongest thing probably in baseball, next to a couple other people who streak, like the guy in Chicago and the other guy in Cincinnati. Streak, but you're not as good as our boy. What do we have after that? Stroman is gone. Then we got Porcello, Waka.
We got a bunch of nonsense.
Whereas he had. Peterson's been solid. He's a rookie. You can't expect the world out of him. He's been doing what he should do. Lugo, of course, he's starting, and he's a star there. Lugo's a star wherever he goes. My point is, in terms of starting, we have a lot of inconsistencies beyond DeGrom. And Lugo is not an inconsistency, but his positioning in the rotation, whether it's the bullpen or the starting staff, is inconsistent, and we're in trouble with pitching. We need to lock that down. Joe had made a point that Lugo should start more innings, stretch him out, and I agree 100%. Producer Joe's nailed that. We can make him our number 2 if we stretch him out and make a playoff run with him and DeGrom as our 1 and 2. But that's where I'm at. Long-winded, but That's how I feel.
It's amazing to think that as in the hole we are as pitching right now, that could just turn way around next year because you'll have DeGrom, potentially Stroman if that's something that the Mets explore, a stretched out, ready to go Lugo if that's something that they so desire to do, Syndergaard coming back around June, and just like that, it kind of flips there.
Tom Boulay. Hold on, I gotta put him up. I'm sorry, I just have to do that. Wait, there we go. Can't argue. But the funny thing, before the season started, right? We worried about defense, but not so much starting pitching. Defense is solid. Right, our starting pitching is full of switches.
Defense is not solid, dude. Where are you living at? That's the reason we're in this mess. Because crappy defense that they played in the beginning of the season. Crappy base running.
Look where we've come to.
They were playing well. You look where we're at right now because of the games that we lost, because of crappy defense, because of crappy base running.
So let me ask you this.
And then you got guys that can't hit and not ready. McNeil just started hitting. Polar Bear just starting to hit. So that's the reason we're in this spot, because of crappy pitching and crappy defense.
I agree.
The last few games, it's better because you're putting in a kid that can actually field. And what's his name? The 21-year-old Jimenez. Shortstop. Guillorme.
The question was the last 5 games. What is our strength?
It's better. And
defense,
now you got Frazier to play defense. Yeah, but now we have to do the same thing we do every freaking year, guys. We have to pull a miracle out of our ass, have guys play above and beyond so that every Met fan thinks that, oh, these guys are great. No, they're playing above and beyond for these 20-minute, 15-game segment. They're going to suck again next year. Waka, I don't know what he's thinking. Porcello, I've given up on him, okay? And I was a Porcello fan. I was hoping that he could reclaim some of his thing that he had in the.
Producer Joe said, "Don't worry, they're second half guys. Don't worry about it. We got this."
Just like the Mets.
So after 80 games, after 82 games, after 81 games, they'll be better. I mean,
yeah. The next 81 games. Hopefully, they won't be second in our second half.
It's such an odd season, man.
Put themselves in this spot. I'm sick of them already, and now it's going to be a 15-game freaking pressure fest to try to do anything. They're going to have to play out of their minds to even make the playoffs. Whatever. I'm done.
Oh, wow. You know what? I don't want to repeat what I said in the chat the other day. Joe straightened me out. Producer Joe straightened me out. I was in
being negative Nilly.
I was in the gutter.
We went to negative town.
Producer Joe can suck it. He's going to cut me out right now. I know it.
There it is.
But Producer Joe, I sometimes tend to be the guy who's, no matter what, let's go Mets and all rah rah. And I was.
Hey, Cornet's got stats.
And Joe put me in my place. Thank you, Joe. Producer Joe. Let's go Mets. We're gonna do this.
Okay, Papa Cornet's stat up there.
What the fudge is a FIP? Cornet. Right? What's a FIP?
It takes into account fielding along with pitching. So what the ERA should be if all the guys got to the balls that they should get to.
So he gives up 37
and you let me know.
Every ball that comes near him.
Wait, Cornet, you let wait, hold on. Wait, Cornet, you let me know if I explain that dumbed down enough for just everybody, not anybody in particular. Baseball, best.
All right.
No. Seriously, because these are all newer stats to us.
No, here's the thing. If you let a hitter hit the ball like a missile, there's no fielder going to catch it. That FIP means to me. Okay,
it's balls that they should get to. 5 feet to your left that you should be able to range over to.
Whoa! Don't hit the ball. Strike them out.
Oh my God! You are sounding like such an old school guy right now.
Fippity doo dah, just score more runs than the other team today.
Okay, so then forget about all your stats that you mentioned about Tom Seaver.
Exactly. Well, no, because Tom Seaver, the franchise piece.
No, you got it. Everything folds together, blends together. You got to
don't
talk about the
be
stats.
that way. You're
You got to.
in everybody's milk. You milk shit.
Wait a second. Wait, hold on. Didn't Joe have to
He
say,
does it all the time.
wake up?
Right, Lawrence?
I was offline.
Milk
You're
That- that's-
constantly shitting in milk.
That's funny. The rant that Rodriguez just went on, and I'm the poop in the milk.
Well, Rodriguez,
They suck, and they're gonna suck again next year.
Well, here's the thing. I was agreeing with Rodriguez, and he was making sense. I don't agree with you, so obviously you're wrong.
About
You
what?
never agree
I
with
don't
him.
know.
Exactly. Exactly.
I just don't.
I don't know. Third base.
50 do that, 50 yay. My oh my, just score more runs than the other team today, and that's all I gotta say.
Heldo, what's up?
Hey, guys.
Who else do we have to catch up on? You're making my mom laugh, Rodriguez. So that's good.
That's different. Tom Goulet.
The best team in New York
Yeah.
is right. Oh, look at this.
I
Joe,
agree.
put up Tim's comment.
The
It's so
Buffalo Blue
true.
Jays.
Buffalo Blue Jays are the best team. Oh, no. What I just must correct you, Tim. It's the Buffalo baseball team.
Oh,
We're taking
man.
after the Skin Reds. It's the Buffalo
Skin
baseball
Reds.
team.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are 24-19 heading into this.
About to
All right,
whoop
that's
their
our new
asses
deal. Let's go
all
get
over
some
the
jerseys.
field in Buffalo. We're about to show who the bosses of New York are. Queens, baby. But anyway, just
Let's get into real quick.
Please.
Over the last couple of days, I've seen,
Brooklyn.
Diaz,
Brooklyn.
but Diaz has an ERA of 2, and whatnot. He's got 4 blown saves and 7 opportunities. Yes, he's pitched better. Yes, he gave me a minor to moderate heart attack last night with the leadoff runner on.
You see how better he pitched last night, though?
Porcello
He
was a
pitched a lot
390
better.
bib. What is that? A babib?
Yeah, that's what that is.
No.
Batting average with balls in play.
Wow, whose balls on what?
So meaning that when the hitters are hitting the ball, they're finding spots where our defense can't get to.
So between you and
they're
I,
hitting 390.
Oh, really? They're getting
it's
hits?
my batting
No
average with
shit.
your balls. I mean, my balls on your chin.
Oh, my
Balls on
God.
chin.
All right.
What?
Okay.
Wait, what? balls in play.
Okay. Remember, you're the guy at the bottom. Be careful.
So
who wants the ball
Well, he's
on
on the bottom. Yeah. Well, right now,
What?
technically. Anyway, keep it moving.
What
You
else
get
is
four- you
technically?
get 4 of them.
All right, so are you guys getting more comfortable with Diaz out there? Familia's pitched better.
Good.
Oh, he didn't like that.
I ain't wondering about him.
Familia's pitched better. Diaz has pitched better, but it's still that heart attack that hits every time they come in, and it's the big shame of it all is that in no situation, last night for example, bases loaded, you can't bring in Familia, you can't bring in Diaz because you're afraid they're going to walk the first hitter or hit the first hitter. So you bring in Wilson, who struggled this year. Conforto makes that amazing catch in right field, saves 3 runs, and the game. But in that situation, you should be able to count on your setup guy in Familia and your closer. So you should not have that.
Wilson is the setup guy.
Yeah, but he's got ERA is double the other guys right now. But
And still better than Familia.
no. But my point is, you should be able to feel comfortable to bring in Familia or Diaz and not think that they're gonna walk the first guy.
So what's funny is I got kicked out of my MLB app last night. For those of you who don't know, I'm in Florida, so I got to watch through MLB.tv. And when I went to log back in, Diaz was still pitching. It's quoted his ERA as 2.00. And I was like, what kind of crack are these people on? I know the homeboy's ERA is at least 6.
That's the feel
That's
like.
I'm not comfortable with him. The only person I'd be comfortable with is Lugo, and I am a little undecided as a fan whether I like him in the starting rotation or the bullpen. He's got nasty stuff, and he looked good last night, but he doesn't do it consistent enough. He needs to get back into his Seattle form. I was looking at some of the film when he was in Seattle. He consistently hit those corners with those sliders, and he was up inside with the fastball. He doesn't come up inside at all anymore.
Oh, he's
He would
too
come up
scared.
in,
He doesn't have
up
control.
in and then slide her out and strike these people out. Yeah, and he doesn't come up in anymore at all. You got that.
There you go, Joe.
Yeah.
Who cares? He hops every time he throws the ball.
You did say the pitcher with the lowest ERA in the league, is the best pitcher.
Wait, but is his ERA truly 1.89?
But still, 1.89 is pretty damn good.
Is that really his ERA?
Yeah.
I thought they were smoking crack last night. I was about to give him some of this and some of this. I was about you need to go work that out. You
Does
got
that
some
help
poison
with
that
the
needs to
crack?
leave the building. No, but they're talking that kind of crap. There's a lot of poison in the building. They need to get it out.
Yeah. All right. So I just wanted to see how you guys felt about Diaz now. I mean, he's pitched better,
he looked good last night, bro. He looked good last night. He really did.
You gotta change speeds. If he gets behind everybody and he starts throwing that sweet 98 mile an hour meatball down the middle, they gotta rock him. Come on.
Last night before he got strikeout, he threw 6 sliders and then a fastball. Am I wrong, Faraci? Maybe it was 5. It was a lot of sliders and then a fastball. He wasn't mixing it up. If that's the case, he got lucky. Slider, fastball, strikeout.
Producer Joe wants to make sure that we know Diaz's ERA 1.89.
Right. I'm with Mindy.
Producer Joe's not a fan, so
Mindy,
he's just trying to bust balls.
Mindy, I'm with you, my fellow Met
fan. And that from my mom, the no.
Joe, you are number one.
From my mom, the no in capitalized with exclamation points. That was for sure about Diaz yesterday. It's terrifying.
So let's talk about Cornet's comment real quick. Because listen, Cornet has been a long time listener to the show. Cornet has written books on the Mets. Cornet knows what he's talking about. And he said, not a lot of closes make me feel good and easy. LOL. True. But Diaz has pitched well. His outing yesterday was good. And he has been good. He is our best reliever. Cornet does know what he's talking about. It doesn't mean I always agree with him. In this particular case, this year, he is right. And I probably have a lot of PSD when it comes to Diaz. So,
Yeah. Tell me Diaz's FIP, Cornet. So I can tell you how far that FIP will stick.
Tell me his balls on chin average.
He really is the best reliever. He has to have control.
What's his ball on chin average?
Jeez.
Like that little goatee, he probably has one here and one here.
What is his fippy dippy? Fippity doodah, yippity my oh my, just get a freaking out today. How about a 1-2-3 inning coming your way?
Get a guy out.
BABIP. I was about to ask because I forgot who mentioned not a lot of closers make me feel this way. Where do you have, and Mindy brought it up, do you have a slot where you slot Diaz in amongst our closers over the years? Does he make you more or less nervous than Armando Benitez? More or less nervous than John Franco? Billy Wagner?
She said a little less than Benitez.
Yeah. Franco made me nervous every single time.
Every time.
Franco.
That's change up screwball outside bottom.
But a nervousness with the consistency of a 2.5 or lower ERA over several different years, and the highest save left-handed receiver, highest number of saves for a left-handed reliever in Mets history, and almost and almost. I think there's one left-hander that has more saves in the Mets than Franco, right? But it was a nervousness, but it was a confident nervousness, right? Diaz was a here comes the bomb nervousness. Franco,
there's the FIP.
Fippity doodah.
The FIP is higher than the actual ERA. Which means he's getting lucky. There's some luck involved there. But even if you take it back a couple weeks ago when his ERA was still above 4, his strikeouts were just ridiculous because when he was on. He was striking out the side.
He's averaging 19 per 9 this year.
Yeah. I think he's got like 41 strikeouts in whatever amount of innings.
and four
Gary
blown
quoted
saves.
yesterday, 19 per 9 innings.
Out of 7 opportunities.
Yes, last year. This year.
4 wins he cost us with all this glamour, all this ERA, all this FIP. 4 blown saves.
But you know what, Rodriguez? As much as I like to trash him too, and it's a lot of fun, and he deserves it, he has turned it around this year in a very short sample compared to last year. It's a very short sample, but he has turned it around.
You know? It's the truth. 4 blown saves. That's 4 wins he cost us because he came in like a dipstick. All right? I don't care what else he does. Do something when it counts.
Can I just say, what's his ERA? 1.89. Rodriguez for the season. If the season ended today, Rodriguez would be almost spot on. He projected Edwin Diaz to have an ERA of 1.90. Look at you.
Because I think he can do it. But the problem is you could do 1.9, but don't blow saves, you dork. That's
you had him at 23 saves. Huh? You had him at 23 saves. I had Lugo. Remember, my thing was Lugo. So I had Diaz with 5 saves for the year.
1.90 ERA should have been a lot of saves, man.
Here's the reason why he has 1.90 ERA. Because over 19 innings, he has 39 strikeouts. Here's also the reason why he has 4 blown saves. He also has 11 walks in 19 innings. As a closer, you can't do that. You can't
walk anybody.
And it's always the first. It's always the first. Spider-Man will tell you. It's always the first batter. Oh, he's upside down.
What are you
always
doing
the first batter. I'm saying Spider-Man is telling. He's a Met fan too, you know?
He is.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Benitez pitched for the world famous Long Island Ducks.
Oh, why they world famous? Because that's my fallback team.
Yeah. All right, let's move it along here as we get set to close this bad boy out. We had a discussion earlier, before we go into the week ahead. We had a discussion earlier that centered around the late '90s, early 2000s Mets, and we came across names like Butch Husky and Mo Vaughn and Roberto Alomar, and I don't know if you, Rodriguez, you want to tell the story for Joe? I don't know if Joe is available to pop in here and tell. No,
he's not. He's not popping in. What am I talking about? The Butch Husky story?
Now you could just make it up.
Okay. Which story are you going to make up? Well, once upon a time, there was a fat man called Joe Mobihill, and he used to go to Met games. And considering how thin he is, he used to call Butch Husky fat.
Oh, boy.
So, that's not the story. Butch, he's going to come on any second. I'm going to come off. Him and his best friend, quote unquote best friend, before he met his wife, used to go to Met games together. Are
you jealous?
Things. And they used to, I wasn't implying jealousy. They used to go to Met games together, and they used to abuse Butch Husky, which he should have been abused. They used to yell, "He's Butch, he's Husky, he's Butch Husky," and they used to scream it at him when he was in the outfield, and they used to get fans to scream that at him also. So he's hoping that he gets to meet Butch Husky one day so he can tell him that I'm the dork that used to yell at you all those years in the outfield, and he thinks that Butch Husky is going to be like, "Oh, ha, ha, ha."
He might say, "You're the reason I retired.
You're the reason I batted 240."
Wasn't he did hit some mammoth home runs though. He had that because he had the power. I mean, he had the upper body strength alone. And you remember his swing. He used to swing, follow through, go way back.
Didn't he have a hell year from Boston too? I mean, come on, Joe. Way to go. Hey, you're a Met. Let me root for you. Let me destroy you.
Wait a second. Carlos Baerga?
Oh, yeah. Well, Baerga deserved it. You're talking about my story with Baerga, they talked about me on TV for chastising him? Yeah.
Well, because everybody heard it because it was like,
Have you ever heard that story? I'm sure it'll come up another episode. Watch every episode. One day you'll hear it again. But it is a good story. I'll bring George on. George is with me. We'll talk that through.
Benny Agbayani in a bar, downtown Denver. There we go.
2 outs, ball in the fans. Let's go. Round the base.
It was Bernard Gilkey, Timmy, Men in Black, just watching the alien shuttle go through. The ball hit him in the head.
Money Train. Who was Money Train?
Wait,
number 25.
Let me finish this. Go ahead.
He was a conductor.
You're a conductor,
No, you ever see the Money Train?
of course.
Who was the conductor that rode the train? He wore number 25 on
Was
the
it
Mets.
Roger?
It was "I'll pay you for life, Bonilla."
Yeah. Not for life. Only 11 more years.
Yes, it's for life.
All right,
hopefully I'll be dead before I
11 more
stop.
years.
11 more years. Hey, but what if? Well, what if the Cohen just pays it off? We including the interest. Just do it.
Thank
Just
you.
buy.
I would so love that. Yo, that's what the Will Pond should
Number
have done.
one.
Like, this is an embarrassment. Let me just get rid of you.
Yeah, like how the presidential candidates say on day one I'm going to do this. Cohen should say on day one I'm paying off with interest so he doesn't lose any money. Bobby Bonilla. We won't have to hear about Bobby Bonilla Day
With
ever.
interest, I wouldn't pay him interest.
He's not going to accept that. What do you mean?
I hope next show
It's interest laden
his
payments.
ownership.
Yes, we should be. All right, let's talk now about this weekend series. I think we might have another Monday show in us. That's our only off day next week, but we'll talk through things. The Blue Jay series, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, up in beautiful Toronto. I mean Buffalo. So that's our 3-game set here. I don't see any pitchers announced, but I do know that the Mets have rightfully so said that DeGrom is going every 5th day, no matter what.
I saw him
It
up
doesn't
there
matter
tomorrow.
if it's tomorrow, right?
Yep.
Okay. I thought it was the Friday game. And then Lugo goes on Saturday.
But tomorrow's
Okay.
Friday, so you would be right.
Yes. Thank you. Love you too, Tom. So DeGrom is going to go regardless of days off, regardless of anything. He's going to go pitch 3 more times this year. So that gives us our best shot at those. You got to win those 3 games.
According to Lugo, according to the Mets, Lugo's pitching Saturday.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I hope they don't complain when
According
the blowout is on.
to Steve.
According to Faraci.
Yeah, the Blue Jays are 24-19, and so the Mets right now, as it stands, are 3.5 games out of that second place automatic playoffs behind the Filthies there, and just I think it's a game and a half or 2 games out of the wild card spot. Aaron
Right,
Heilman.
no, Aaron Heilman is actually pitching Game 3, Tom.
Hey,
Pick a pitch. I mean, you guys making fun of him.
God forbid we could have brought in Bartolo,
Right, and
right, Producer
pitching,
Joe.
Mike Pelfrey's pitching our next.
Producer
off
Joe
day.
was campaigning for that, and it just never happened. Why not? I mean, you're throwing all these guys throwing meatballs out there. Bartolo can get it up to 84, 85, up here, down here. He can get people out.
That's
I
good,
firmly
Tom.
big it.
Yep, next Yankee game, we're also pulling Malicki out of the
Big
Dave
sexy.
cobwebs.
Half
All right, so-
screwed up.
So, Big Sexy for the win. All right, so what are your predictions for this weekend series? Not what we need to do because we can really, really go for a sweep here. But what are your predictions for the weekend series? I want to go real quick back to Toronto. So Toronto is in that second place right now, guaranteed playoff spot. They're 2 games ahead of the Yankees. For that spot right now. I don't even know why they're doing home and away this year. I get it, but the Yankees are 8-14 on the road. Just want to throw that out there. All right, predictions for this weekend.
What
2 out of-
predictions can you make when we don't even know who's pitching?
Two out of 3 because I don't know who's pitching Sunday. And
DeGrom and Lugo.
Lugo. So and Sunday I don't know who's pitching. So I'm going to go 2 out of 3 because they do have a potent offense. I'll take our 2 top pitchers, shutting them down, and take 2 out of 3.
I'm so disgusted. I'm going for the sweep. Why not? Make myself more miserable.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I think you see that this is Phillies and Marlins are playing. I don't know what kind of I heard that they had a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have a 6-game series with the Marlins because of all the makeup. So actually 7. So they're playing a doubleheader, 1 game today, 2 games tomorrow. Saturday is 1 game, and then 2 games on Monday.
Yankees?
The Phillies and the Marlins are playing. Wow.
As long as all the games end up in a tie in 15 innings, I'm fine.
That's it. So I mean, we kind of want them to. I mean, do you want one team to split? Probably. You want the teams to split.
I want
but but just to talk about the Phillies, rest of their and we'll end after this. The Phillies remaining games are against the Mets. They have that series against them, so that's huge. Next week they play the Blue Jays for 4, and then they play the lowly this year at Nationals. Brian Hom sucks, and then they finish the year against the Rays. And then our schedule goes like this: 3 against the Blue Jays, the 3. That's a massive series now against the Phillies. And then we got the Braves for 3, and you got the Rays for 3, and we finish with 4 against the really subpar Washington Nationals. So we finish against the Nats, and the Phillies finish up against the Rays. The Nats are 16-25. And they're just giving up on life down there this year.
Really?
All right, I'm gonna go. All that to say, I'm gonna go 2 out of 3 for the weekend series, and because of the 6-game series that they're playing down there, 2 out of 3 could mean picking up more than just the typical number of games there. All right, let's get this bad boy wrapped up with a nice blue and orange ribbon. Keith, any final words? Brian Hom sucks.
Yeah, fuckata, Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, fuckata.
What a
Brian
loser.
Hom sucks. Brian Hom, fuckata the Phillies, fuckata Philadelphia, fuckata your bell. Fix your bell, you cracked it. Stop bringing broken shit to the table and make it believe it's like important to you. Fix it. Fuckata. Let's go Mets. That didn't make sense the last part, but hey, felt like there was something else to rant on just to insult Philadelphia people because Philadelphia people suck.
Screw you, Phil.
Yes. Unless you're like a family member of mine, which you probably aren't, because if you were, I would disown you. So fuck it anyway.
I've never been to Philadelphia. You know that?
Me neither.
Never? And
I want to go
remember
pick on Rocky statue.
Wait, do you remember a few years ago? I think Joe was or maybe it was last year. I was asking, hey, because I was trying to figure out a vacation in December. We usually go to cold weather places, and I thought about it, and I asked you guys how Philadelphia was, and I was like, nah.
Smells like sweat and urine.
That's what Brian Hom says. Brian Hom says he goes to Philadelphia. The whole city smells like urine. So I'm like,
yeah, but then he leaves and the smell stops.
Smells like 42nd Street subway station.
Well, that's not good. All right, Rodriguez, final thoughts.
I've been miserable today with these Mets, but I do love them with all my heart. They're right here, right next to me, and I'm just really praying for a sweep. Let's get a sweep. Let's start getting on the ball. Let's do the miracle that we always do every year and make us crazy. Let's go, Mets. So all I got to say. Later.
And fuck it to Philadelphia. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, that's the name of the game, right? That's what she said. Just get in. That's what she said. Tom says we're going to sweep Buffalo. But, I mean, seriously, just get in and think about, if you're playing even the Dodgers in a 3-game series, which is the first round, you got in a 3-game series, you got Cy Grom and you got Lugo. At least those two can come in and pitch.
And even though with all that said, Brian Hom still sucks.
Yeah, oh for sure.
The Grom's the only one I care about. Everybody else sucks.
Like Brian Hom.
You haven't been watching the Lugo games. Lugo's been pitching.
I have. I'm so scared for him though. I'm so scared for him to messing up his arm because that's the reason why they took him out from being a starter. And then we lose him just for the next 2 or 3 years.
And then
Thanks,
Brian Hom
Noah.
sucks.
Thanks,
Noah.
Noah.
Knock on something. Knock on something. Don't jinx us. Yeah, there you go. All right, that'll wrap it up for us today. We don't want to go any further because we know there's football on tonight. So go ahead, enjoy the football game. Enjoy the Mets taking at least 2 out of 3 this weekend, and we will talk to you guys next week right here. We appreciate you watching and listening to our craziness.
One quick thing.
One.
Philly sock, Brian Hom socks. Sorry, just had to say that.
Boom. Later.